run that fade, win, lose, or draw.
You on
like
that.
Pokemon, I gotta catch them all.
Watch how you talking to me, man, for real.
What's the
What you mean
hostility?
the hostility? You a man, right?
Nigga, I get him up with any nigga on this earth, bro.
Down right now. What's happening? We can get it cracking.
Come on.
I can't sleep at night like this, period. Period. I can't sleep like this at night with a loss on my mind. Get this nigga, bro. And if I take another L, fuck it. It is what it is. But bring this nigga, man. I can't sleep like this, bro. For real, this shit got a nigga dropping tears, nigga.
Smoke demons such as Aaron the Plumber are once in a generation type of crash outs. People who live, breathe and die for the fade. This kind of lifestyle isn't for everyone. You need a mixture of pride, skill and straight up love for the game in order to even think about living a life like this. The guy I'm going to be putting you on today is someone who had an insane amount of love for the game. A smoke demon who's willing to run the fade with anyone, anywhere. Allow me to introduce you to Samson, the Bible smoke demon, the strongest dreadhead in history. I don't care how long it takes, as long as I'm here with you. Got a smile on my... In order for us to really grasp the story fully, we must first understand some context. Firstly, the time in which this was taking place. Israel, where most of these characters are from, is under the rule of these guys called the Philistines. Secondly, remember the term Nazarite. That is going to come up a lot. But they're kind of like the sayings of the Bible, and I will make a video on them soon. I actually will for this. Samson is born a Nazarite, and one thing about Nazarites is that they cannot cut their hair. Video dropping soon, I promise. So yes, hence the title of this video. Samson Dreadhead confirmed. Maybe, I don't actually know. But more importantly, our story begins with this guy deciding that he wants to wife up a Philistine.
You should marry her. But what am I gonna do with this though? Major key alert. Prenup.
Yeah, I know. He wants to marry one of the ops. It's kind of like a biblical Romeo and Juliet type thing. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. This is just the subplot. This is like, yeah.
Shut your lame ass up, nigga.
So Samson sees this girl and instantly decides he wants to marry her. I know. Somebody tell this guy about talking stages. Damn. But bro essentially speedruns the marriage process. And as he's about to go meet her parents, out of the corner of his eye, he notices a being brave enough to taunt him. Something so strange. And his inner Aaron the Plumber comes out. So Samson walks over to this mysterious figure. And they start throwing down immediately. The mysterious figure Samson is fighting for no reason other than his Nazarite pride is a lion. Yes, this fella really threw hands with a lion for looking at him funny. And to make matters worse, this lion gets off-screened. So after this minor setback, Samson pulls up to his little engagement party and it's a good time, right? Everyone's having fun, right? Right until this fella thinks he's the Riddler for some reason. And he starts asking his, Philistine guest riddles.
Are loud and obnoxious. They like music that...
Surprisingly though, Samson isn't just a pretty face because this guy's got some brains. Because none of his guests can crack his riddle. Additionally, Samson's offered to give them all Cuban links and front row tickets to a David Blunt's concert. So naturally, these guys are desperate to find an answer. So desperate that they end up essentially threatening his girl into finding out the answer from him. So she asks Samson, and bro folds immediately.
You're right. You're right.
So he tells her the answer, she tells them, and they tell him, and he is mad. You know what? Let's make these videos more interactive. What does Samson do in this situation? Does he A, communicate with his soon-to-be wife and tell her that what she did was disrespectful? Or does he B, buy 30 Cuban links and purchase David Blunt concert tickets for all of them? Or C, does he go into the nearest Philistine town and murder 30 men and snatch their chains? Yeah, he picked option C. This man is genuinely a crash out. Like, really think about what he just did. He got tricked by his Philistine potential in-laws into having to give them 30 Cuban links. Like, sure, okay, he got tricked, he got scammed, whatever. Take the L, bro. But what he does instead is he walks into a Philistine town alone. This is the equivalent to 6ix9ine walking into O Block. He walks there and then proceeds to 1v30 them and snatch all their chains and then give them to their friends or family members as a present. Like, bro, how is that? So naturally the Philistine people are mad but also kind of nervous because this random guy just pulled up and 1v30'd an entire block. So they sort of stay put for now. And Samson, he's kind of chilling. He went back home after the whole incident because he was mad at his wife. But he decides to go pay her a visit, you know, as husbands do. Pretty standard husband behavior. But here's where it gets problematic. Because when Samson arrives, bro can't find his wife anywhere. And as soon as he tries going into a room, her dad stops him and he's like, I kid you not. He says, if you think she's bad, you should check out a younger sister. Firstly, pause. Brother, that is your daughter.
Hey! Hey! Have a fucking word within that ref!
And secondly,
I
Samson
can't
is
sleep
like,
at night like this.
where is my wife? Where is she? My fault. And the dad essentially hits Samson with the, she's busy right now, little bro. Because it turns out, remember how Samson slammed 30 guys for their chains like 30 seconds ago? As soon as he did that and went back home, his best man started playing DDG levels of dirty macking. Because the second Samson left, this guy started dropping all sorts of game on her. And he ended up marrying her instead.
Take my advice, hey, live a better life. You got maze right now. You got it made right.
You know what? This time it is a completely valid crash out. But it's really the ones you trust the most. So anyway, what does Samson do in this situation?
I'm your man, Steve Harvey.
Does he A, go back home, listen to All Girls Are the Same by Juice WRLD and cry? Does he B, immediately run the ones with his best friend? Or does he catch 300 foxes, tie lit torches to all their tails, and let them run into all the Philistines' crops, burning it all down? Yes, running the ones with his best man wasn't enough for this guy. He absolutely had to burn all of the Philistines' crops down. You know what? For once, I'm gonna actually be on this guy's side. Like, okay, maybe it's a bit much, but what those guys did to him was horrible, bro. Like, damn. So after that, it just gets kind of sad for Samson, man. I mean, he moves into a cave and he listens to Heartbreak Drake songs on repeat. And he's, you know, just thugging it out until his own bros come into the cave and tell him that the Philistines are outside and they're mad. I mean, he did kind of burn down all of their food provisions, so like, yeah, fair enough. But Samson is equally as mad about him getting played. So he says, you know what? You guys tie my hands up and just get out of the area. Because I'm gonna go talk to these guys and come to a mutual agreement. So they do that, Samson's hands are tied, and he's now alone and face to face in an empty field with 100 Philistines. Now, from here, does Samson A, apologize for burning down their crops and come to a peaceful settlement? B, does Samson understand that he is kind of in the wrong for burning down a whole city's crops? He may have overreacted a little bit and take whatever punishment they have for him. Or C, does Samson pick up a donkey's jawbone and proceed to run the fade with 100 Philistines? Yeah, it's getting kind of predictable now. This fella decides to talk it out with,
Stop the cap.
alright. He proceeds to kill every single one of them with a donkey's jawbone. Where the flip are you finding these weapons, bro? Who has a donkey's jawbone just sitting around there? Like, he could have used a stick or a staff, whatever. A donkey's jawbone. You're doing too much. My bad, I almost lost my cool there. So, after this, the Philistines are now terrified of this guy. I mean, who would it be, bro? Like, this guy is not only a certified crash out, he's also overpowered. However, Samson does have a weakness. His luck with women. And I know what you're thinking. No, he's not just like me. Bro, get off the screen. When I catch this editor guy, bro. So back to what I was saying, Samson has terrible luck with women. And if him getting played by his first situationship wasn't enough, his second one is even worse. So Samson meets this girl called Delilah. Wagwan Delilah, what's it like in New
It was trash. You can't handle me. Hold up. Ain't you Nathaniel B?
Get the fuck out of the pool!
My bad. But yeah, Samson meets her and bro is just like Rod Wave, wearing his heart on his sleeve. Rod Wave reference. Because this guy falls in love immediately. But what Samson doesn't know is that Delilah is getting paid by the Philistine officials to find out what Samson's weakness is. So one day, Delilah asks him, Delilah asks him what his weakness is, and he says, if they tie 7 fresh bowstrings around him, then he loses all his strength. That's his kryptonite. So she does that, and wakes him up, telling him the opposite here. But Samson effortlessly...
Okay.
Samson effortlessly breaks them and starts throwing hands. And instead of being happy that her man's not, dead, she starts getting mad that he lied to her. Samson's an idiot. This is an obvious... But anyway, Samson apologized to her and tells her, okay, I'll tell you the truth this time. If they tie 7 ropes around me, I lose my strength. So again, by some coincidence, the ops pull up again. Delilah wakes him up and he finds himself tied in ropes for some reason. But he again snaps them with ease and he runs a fade. And again, she gets mad at him for lying. He apologizes and this time he looks at Delilah and tells her that his weakness is, if someone were to braid his locks into cornrows, that would turn him as weak as the average guy. So once again, it happens. The ops pull up. Delilah wakes him up. He again wakes up and runs a fade. This guy's either a brain dead idiot who hasn't been able to connect the fact that every time he tells his girl his supposed weakness, within 5 minutes an attempt on his life takes place, as he finds himself in a position which would be exploiting his weakness if that was it. Or he's just an insane smoke demon who's discovered a fade farming method. So this time, Delilah's getting really mad. So, you know what? Let's play the game again. Does Samson A. understand something's wrong and quickly leave Delilah's house? B. understand something's wrong but confront Delilah about it? Or does he C. tell Delilah his actual weakness and go back to sleep in her arms? There's been a strange reoccurring pattern in which this fool always picks the worst possible option. I don't know how this guy is genuinely one of those cavemen, all muscle, no brain guys. Because he immediately, for some reason, tells her the truth. The truth is, if they cut my dreads off, I become as weak as any other man. So believe it or not, the ops pull up again. And this time, he's actually been nerfed. Because remember how I said he's a Nazarite? Nazarites have an oath. The first one of their oaths is never touch the dreads. So the second Delilah cuts his dreads off, it takes away his ability to throw hands. And they easily capture him. And they take his eyes out. And he's like, Delilah, did you do this to me? No, she would never.
It's an evil world we live in. 2 things we don't do. We don't give money back and we don't say sorry.
You don't know what it feels like. One day you love me. The next you disappear.
So now the Philistines are having this crazy lit party at the Temple of Dagon. And it's getting a little bit boring, so they're like, you know what? Bring out Samson! Treat this guy like his Carti. But Samson's now been chained between two massive pillars, and they're just pointing and laughing at him. And, throwing the occasional fruit at him, as haters do. And remember how I said he's lost his Nazarite powers because of his dreads getting destroyed? Well, Samson leans on those pillars, and he starts praying to God. Father God, don't let me go out sorry. Please let me oil farm one last time. No, let me run the fade one more time.
Oh my word, we'll have a look. Of course we'll have a look.
And his prayer is answered immediately because he feels a surge of power through his veins, and mustering every ounce of strength he has left, he pushes against those two pillars he's holding on to. And as he pushes, the Philistine people feel the ceiling start to crumble. But by the time they realize it's already too late, as Samson pulls on the chains holding the two pillars, sending them completely out of place, the ceiling comes down as Samson makes his final stand, killing 3,000 people at the cost of his own life. Sure, Samson was a bit of an idiot at times, but you had to give it to him, bro. He did have his moments. He was pretty cool at times, but that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. What's the moral of the story? Moral of the story? Never let your side chick touch your dreads for real.